And we welcome you into radfordathletics.com. I'm Rick Watson, and we're joined now by our new volleyball coach, Sherisa Livingston. Coach, how are you? Welcome to Radford. You were there for about a week, and then we all had to disappear. So how you been?
I've been good. Honestly, everyone in the department has helped so much, and still being able to meet with the students and talk to them over these few weeks has been really good. I got to know them a little bit better. Honestly, it's not a great situation, but still being able to get to know the team in a different way besides on the court does help.
Yeah, it's got to be unique and also frustrating. I think the one time I spoke with you the most, you came into our office, you were trying to get practice courts worked out and schedules, and then we had to go away. So let's talk about that. Coming in here, you're as a head coach here at Radford University, a league you know very well, coming from Winthrop as an assistant, but talk about the adjustments you've had to make, not only with dealing with the players, practice time, and also trying to recruit. What kind of a tough journey has that been for a first-year coach?
Honestly, it's only tough because you got to get to know a different system and a different way that a different university does things. Because everyone thinks that when you're a coach, the sport is the sport. But when you move to a different university, no matter how many times you've been there, no matter how much experience you have to learn the ways that that university operates and the way that that athletic department operates. And when you get to know a new team, it doesn't matter that your title is head coach. You have to get your team to buy in. You have to get their trust. You have to get to know them. There's a lot of things that you need to do. You don't just walk into practice and say, this is what we're doing,
right, and
automatically everyone's on board. You have to get to know them and you have to earn their trust. Everyone thinks that their trust and respect is given. And to a certain extent that's definitely true, but they have to know that you care about them. They have to know that you are putting the program first and that you're putting their needs first, and that you're going to do what's ultimately in the best interest of everyone in the program. And as far as recruiting, I got to go out for one weekend, and then I had another weekend planned because there was a local tournament in Roanoke, and then we were told everything was shut down. So, that was a little difficult. But honestly, I just like I've told the kids, any adversity is only going to make us better, and we're just going to use it as fuel for our fire. And that's just where we're at.
I'm joined by Sherisa Livingston, our new volleyball coach. Coach, what attracted you most about the Radford job when it came open?
The legacy of the program. Marcy had built such a great program, and she'd been here for years and years, and that's one of the things that attracts me. Also, I've been a little. I've been a little bit all over the place, and I kind of want to just be somewhere where I can build and where, there is an expectation of winning. And that's obviously what Radford Volleyball is about. The girls, you can hear it when they speak, even if they're not speaking about winning, and you can hear it in the tone and the voices of everybody who works with the program. So, and it's nice to work with really good people. That's one of the things that is very important to me. I want to work with people of solid character. I want to work with people who just understand that we're not going to take shortcuts to get to where we would like to be. That's one of the most important things. And, even if it's hard, and even if it's something that ultimately costs us a win, we're going to make the right decision.
Well, let's go back to your playing days. You were a terrific player, professional player. Now that you're a coach, do you think back to how you liked to be coached when you were a player and you were trying to get better? Do you bring that into your own style, or how does that work for you as somebody who reached really the highest level of success?
I definitely do. I was actually just talking to my college coach a few weeks ago. Was it last week? And I was actually talking to him about how his style influenced the way that I coach. Every coach is different, but I don't believe in yelling. I don't believe in humiliating my kids. If I'm asking them a question, I've told each of them, if I'm asking a question, it's not rhetorical. I'm not asking you a question to make you look silly. I'm asking you a question because I want to know how you think, and I want to know why you think that way. And if it's different from what I'm saying and what I think, then I need to know that you saw it differently.
Right.
Because I have a vision for what I want done. And if you don't see that vision, and if you don't see or understand why, then we have a problem. So it doesn't mean that, I'm gonna constantly be questioning or constantly want to be questioned, but it does mean that, we need to know how these kids think, because, it's a generation 20 years younger than I am. I was in college 20 years ago. So,
That's right.
We have to know why things are different. I mean, these kids are not us. So, you have to really know what is with them.
Well, it's nice you bring that perspective, because I think a lot of coaches, when they maybe one of the mistakes they make, they think, well, it's all the same, right? When they came up, they don't realize there's a change going on, and that evolution seems like you've kind of wrapped your arms around that and you endorse that.
Well, it's a combination of every coach that I've ever had and every coach that I've ever coached under. The last coach that I worked for, he was very much about those things, getting the why and, asking the questions and making the kids feel as if it's their program too, because quite frankly, you don't have a team without players, and I keep calling them kids, but they are young adults. So, treating them as if they are adults is a huge part of that, and not as if, they're toddlers and you're just telling them this is what we're doing. There is going to be some of that. It is going to be, and I've told them there are going to be times where it is going to be because I said so, but for the most part, this is a partnership. So that's what I want them to understand.
We're joined by Sherisa Livingston, our first-year volleyball coach here at Radford University. What kind of style will you want your team to play, Coach, to let you know they're locked in and ready to go for that match?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I would like a scrappy, physical team. Just looking at the girls, they're very athletic. They're very hard-nosed, blue-collar, chip on their shoulder, and I really like that. I think that, those are the teams that, win championships. Those are the teams that, if you're going to beat them, you're really going to beat them. It's going to go down to the wire every single time. And, I use the Nebraska team that won the 2017 national championship as an example. I don't know how many people would have put them as national champions, but, it makes sense. It was a hardworking, blue collar, and I know that, they're at the top of their game and a lot of people don't see it, but if you see that team, they were very much a core team. They didn't have one player who was just dominating everybody. They had a full lineup, and it just, I want everybody to see that I want my girls to see that as where we want to be. We don't want just one superstar, which is great, but we want a full roster. We want the other team to have to handle every player on our team. So, that's kind of the team that I would like to coach.
Have you liked the talent direction you've seen in the Big South Conference? I mean, you were in it obviously at Winthrop. Do you like to see, as a league, you think it's getting better and better year by year?
I think it's getting better, but I do have to say I think that we can be better, simply because that's the direction that volleyball is going. We want our conference to be respected. We want our conference to, when they're choosing teams for the big dance, we want them to say, oh, well, we can choose more than one team, right, from the Big South. That's kind of the direction that that's what we talk about as head coaches when we have our meetings. You obviously get the automatic qualification when you win the tournament. But, 3 years ago when Radford and High Point went, that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to send more than one, with the toughness of our conference and our schedule.